It is your boy Sai here, and it has been a while. Look at my hair, dude. It's gotten crazy. I'm kidding. It's a wig. I'm cosplaying Marshall Lee from Fiona and Cake. Hockey? But anyway, guys. Happy holidays. Hope you guys are enjoying your holidays. You're away from work, away from school, whatever, guys, life dribbles, and you're spending time with your family, your friends, and those that you care about. I know not everybody celebrates Christmas or Hanukkah or the so what, but just use this time away from all the normal stuff of life and just enjoy yourself. Because as you get older, you realize that Christmas isn't really the same as when you were a kid. When you were a kid, it was a lot simpler. You could just come home, watch the new TV shows, get your Christmas lists ready, wait for Santa, all these wonderful things. But as you get older, Christmas becomes more of a, damn, I need to make money so I can buy gifts for people. I have work, I have bills, I have all these other responsibilities, and it just kind of ruins the charm, if you know what I mean. But even with that, there's still something special about this time of the year, so it's always great to look back and just talk about it. So what I did is I went back and I remembered the most important thing to me when I was a kid, and the thing I always look forward to, which was the Christmas specials. More specifically, the Cartoon Network Christmas specials. These Christmas specials would air every single year alongside a bunch of Christmas movies on Cartoon Network. It'd always be whatever the new show is or popular show would just have a brand new Christmas special, and I would eat that shit up. There's something about Christmas specials that just, they click to me, they resonate. I like, maybe it's the style, maybe it's the music, something about it. I always were like enthralled by it, so I always make sure to catch every single one of them. So I decided, hey, I enjoyed these as a kid, why not go back and watch every single one of them and see how I feel? And yeah, I'm gonna be honest, this was not a fun video to make. Having to binge watch 44 different Christmas specials definitely changes a person and makes you appreciate the holidays a lot less. So I'm not gonna look out of here. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna rank every single one of these Cartoon Network Christmas specials. So without further ado, let's talk about it.
走れソリよ風のように月見原を
First up, the Billy and Mandy Christmas special. This one I remember like the back of my hand. This is one that I've actually gone back every single year since I initially saw it and rewatched. Billy and Mandy's one of those shows that honestly I think defined a generation. Some people might not agree. Some might say it's not as iconic, but I feel like Billy and Mandy's like a show that you could show someone now and they still get a chuckle out of.
What the heck just happened?
But that's for another day. Let's talk about this Christmas special. This Christmas special starts off fairly simple. You got Billy, Mandy, and Grim going to the mall to see Santa. And it does not go well because Santa is actually just that scar guy. Remember that scar guy? Like, he would just always get upset. Bro had Squirrel syndrome. But he's Santa and they reveal that he's not Santa. And then the whole place goes in like haywire. People start going insane. Like, this man is over here burning down this building. This man's over here punching Scar in the face. It is not going well. But during this, Mandy doesn't believe in Santa. So Grim says, you know what? Let me prove this little girl wrong, and he takes them both to the North Pole to meet the real Santa. They get there and they realize, plot twist, Santa is going through it. There is no Christmas going on right now because Santa has been turned into a vampire. Yeah, this special was weird, but Santa gets turned into a vampire and they don't know why. They're trying to figure out who did it and why he's a vampire and how to save Christmas. So to do this, they decide we need to go find the head vampire. They head over to the head vampire, Mandy, and Grim specifically, while Billy stays and helps out Mrs. Claus. Mrs. Claus, during all this, is looking a little bit suspicious, but we'll get back to that later. But Grim and Mandy, they end up getting to the head vampire and realizing that he didn't do this, that they really need to talk to the head vampire. So the group decides to go save Christmas together by working together and finding that head vampire to put an end to all of this. While on the other hand, Billy's over there helping Mrs. Claus around the house and basically giving her something that she doesn't have. Help. She is doing all the work while Santa just looks at his list every year. When they get back, it's revealed that the head vampire all along was Mrs. Claus. Mrs. Claus is the head vampire, and she has turned Santa into a vampire because she wants a break. And now she has the evil plan to turn every single kid around the world into a vampire. But throughout the power of Christmas and the power of cookies and milk, Billy saves Santa, turns him back to a human. They have a nice talk. He apologizes to Mrs. Claus, and we get a happily ever after. This Christmas special is a lot. It's very iconic, and I would say probably a classic along the Christmas specials that I've watched. It's one of those Christmas specials that I say I can go back to. It has solid comedy, solid themes, and overall I think it's a really unique way to go about a Christmas story. You got the basic let's go save Santa or let's save Christmas. That happens in a lot of these. You're gonna hear that a lot. But as a whole, I think this one stands at the top of the list. So I have to go put this in a solid A. We're starting off strong. So next one we have Gumball, which is a really fun Christmas special in my opinion. In this episode they hit a homeless guy who kind of suspiciously looks like Santa. Nicole's not buying it. She thinks it's just a random homeless dude, but the kids and Richard obviously think this is Santa. And they try to bring him back and try to get him back to his holiday spirit and his happy job and stuff because he has amnesia. They don't really do a good job of this, and they end up becoming really depressed about it. They basically get told by Nicole that Santa's not real. And they all have a really bad hang-up about this until the fake Santa, the homeless guy, gets hit in the head. He gets the memory back, and he actually is Santa, and he proves Nicole wrong. They end up basically saving the Santa guy, saving Richard and Gumball from nearly dying, and Christmas is back on. And the reason Nicole didn't think there was a Santa is because she accidentally sent her Christmas list to the wrong pole. Crazy that works. But we get a happy ending. It's very cute, very fun episode, very quick, very energetic. Gumball humor is a solid B. Now we have Christmas Con Carne of Evil Con Carne, and this special was funny. Holy shit, this might be the funniest one. Basically, the evil group, want to fucking kidnap Santa, so they come and beat his ass. They beat Santa up, the brain takes over his body, and we have to fucking get him out of there. So, for some reason, it was getting washed by a fucking snowman, and the snowman goes to recruit Buff, goddamn fucking Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer bootleg. I don't know what's going on. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer pulls up, boxes everybody. Santa gets broken free by the true meaning of Christmas and gets free, and then the fucking Red-Nosed Reindeer flies up and beats more ass. I don't know what the fuck was going on in this episode or what they snorted before they made this, but this shit was fire. A. Next up, we have Christmas in Space. Christmas in Space is the regular show in space Christmas special, and this special was similar to the Halloween ones. If you've seen the Halloween specials where they go and just tell stories, that's what this one's about. For this episode though, honestly, there's not really much to talk about. There was 3 different stories. You had Skip's story, which revolved around them finding a Christmas planet where they only have access to the snow for like 5 minutes and then shit attacks. Then you got Vincent's story. His is about a caroler that invades into their house and just wouldn't leave, and it ends up just being because Vincent's obsessed with bells, and the story ends with bells because bro has a bell problem. And then you got Mordecai and Ribby's, and there's about a 5th dimensional mall, and they get nearly stuck into it, but they manage to escape. And then you got Vincent telling another story about Krampus and how Krampus attacks some of the park members. And again, it brings back the bells because Vincent has a bell problem. I don't know what's up with Vincent and these bells, but bro likes his holiday bells. I've said bells more times than I could do it. So the other specials are a lot better. The other 3 they do, they kind of do they have a total of 4 Christmas specials, and out of the 4, I would say this is probably the weakest. So it's not bad. It's entertaining. It's funny. So I'll just give it a solid B. We have a We Bears Christmas special. This Christmas special was called the Christmas Parties, and it basically centered around the bears being invited to multiple parties, and they want to go to all of them. So they end up trying to go to all the parties, but they end up spending a tight amount of time and messing up everybody else's Christmas on the way. The plot twist, the party that they wanted to go to at the end didn't even invite them, so they end up having to make it up for everyone. The episode is really sweet in that way, because I feel like, you know, having them rush through each person's party, fuck up Chloe's expeditiously was really messed up. But the fact that in the end of the episode they realized their wrongs and they decided to go and give back and make sure everybody's doing well was really cute. So it's a solid episode, pretty wholesome, had some comedy moments. We Bears has always been a show that I wanted to go back and rewatch, but I never really had the time, and it doesn't really stand out that much personally. But I may give it another chance, so I give this one a B as well. Uncle Grandpa Christmas. This one's interesting. I mean, I'm not really an Uncle Grandpa fan at all, but it wasn't the worst episode on this list, but it wasn't great. It was basically Santa and Uncle Grandpa are brothers, and they have a sibling rivalry. After Santa gets hurt because Uncle Grandpa has to basically become the new Santa. This goes kind of left field. Doesn't do the best, but hey, they get the job done. two brothers bond. Yeah, that's it. See, I guess? Oh yeah, I forgot. It was a two-parter. So yeah, there's two parts to this episode. The second part was very bland. It was basically, if you've seen the episode of Fairly Odd Parents where Timmy gets the wish where he doesn't exist, they do that, but everybody's life sucks without him, so Uncle Grandpa goes back. That's it. D tier on the second part, I guess. Now we got the Apple and Onion Christmas special. I'm gonna be honest, I've never watched a single episode of Apple and Onion, so I did not know what to expect. Apple and Onion is a show that I think was right after my time when it came to watching live TV, so I never really saw it, but this show was actually really fucking funny. I don't know why, but the humor was very different from a lot of the shows that I've watched, and it stood out amongst the rest, surprisingly. But this Christmas special revolves around Apple and Onion needing money to get each other Christmas presents, so they decide to get a part-time job at the mall. They apply for a job at the mall to be Santa, but they also have to compete with the security guards. So there's a competition where whoever gets the most kids gets paid and the other one doesn't. So the two go back and forth, sabotage each other. You kind of make a little rant here. Bro, I applied for Macy's, like the store, and I never got a call back. I called them. They said they'll call back. I called them again. They said they'll call back. So fuck holiday jobs and seasonal jobs because this shit is bullshit, and fuck big companies for that. I apologize, Elio. If you're my boss and you're watching this, I apologize. I appreciate y'all, but like, call me in so I can actually get paid and do work. Thank you. I feel like the jokes in this episode were really well done and they were a lot of fun. The comedy in this episode was solid. You had the jokes with the raccoons. You had a little bit of a penitentiary joke. There was a lot of fun in this episode. I also enjoyed the ending. The ending was very wholesome because the security guard, he wanted to get the job so he could get a hologram so he could also spend time with his family because he had work on the holidays. So Apple and Onion decide, hey, let's do something to help this guy. And they decide to burn down the Christmas tree that he was supposed to guard for his job. But hey, since there's no Christmas tree, the guy doesn't have to work overnight. He gets to spend the holiday with his families, while Apple and Onion spend time in jail. Solid episode, very funny. I'd give it a B. Woo! The regular show Christmas special. God, what is there to say? I've talked about this once on the channel way back when, but this Christmas special is phenomenal. It is probably one of the best ones, and I'm going to give it the time it deserves. This Christmas special follows Santa crashing down into the park. Of course he does. And there's this evil elf that has this present that will give everyone who looks at it what they want, but it also turns you into a crazy person. So the park member's job is to get this present and destroy it. So they have to go over to the other camp, the other park, and they have to go to a volcano. They have to fight a fucking bear and answer trials and do fucking DDR, and Muscle Man almost died. This episode was intense. But they also had Santa shooting guns. They had these elves shooting guns. They had fucking Santa had a six-pack with bump. This episode was all over the place. It is classic regular show. It is what the definition of a fun Christmas special should be all about. Don't just do the generic bullshit where it's like, oh yeah, it's the Christmas spirit. That shit's lame. They had a lot of fun character moments. They had a lot of fun action. This shit's just like, it's a banger. It's a banger. This is an easy S tier. Throw it up there. Now we have Dexter vs. Santa Claus. What's up with these old Christmas specials and just boxing Santa? So Santa isn't real according to Dexter. He gets proved wrong. He attacks Santa. Santa gets taken out. He destroys his house. Yeah, that's this episode was like 6 minutes. Very fast. Very glad it was short, but nothing really happened. A lot of fun though. I would say the comedy was pretty solid. It was very fast paced. So B tier, I guess? B minus? Another classic. The Eddy and Eddy Jingle Jangle Jungle. This episode is another one that gets me all warm and fuzzy. I've watched this episode on many occasions outside of Christmas, and it's just a lot of fun. The episode follows Eddy mostly because Eddy is sad about the holidays because he doesn't get what he wants. Only present he gets are clothes, so he's feeling very ungrateful and really selfish. So he goes around to everybody's house, try to get them to celebrate Christmas with him, to just get gifts. I think the character work in this episode was really fun. And you had Rolf not knowing what the fuck Christmas is and celebrate a different holiday, which was really interesting. You got Eddy honestly fumbling the biggest bag of all time. He had it. He had her, but bro spit up the eggnog. You had Ed just being phenomenal, taking the entire chimney, moving to his room. Yeah, Double D being obviously Double D, he's probably like Eliza. Then you got the Cankers committing sexual assault. We love Eddy around here. But anyway, yeah, this episode is a classic. I don't really want to go too much into it. I think this one will be one that you guys should watch. If you haven't watched already, there's probably somewhere. So I give this a solid S. This might be the first S tier one on the video. And now we have the Class of 3000 Christmas special. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Can I be honest with y'all? I've always been honest with you guys. But this show... wonky? This is a very weird episode. Like, honestly, I've never really watched the Class of 3000, so I can't say much for each episode, but there was some weird things. You had this white kid that was like obsessed with this black girl. I don't know, man. This show is weird. So this episode had Lil D trying to go on the nice list through any means necessary, but kind of failing because he's not realizing what the true meaning of Christmas is. We also learned that Andre 3000 Santa has beef because Santa gave him ice skates to the rollerblades, which led to him getting hurt so he couldn't play the head elf. So to make it up to him, Santa offers to allow Andre 3000 to be his main elf, his head elf. Listen, this episode sounds weird because I keep saying Andre 3000, but this show is literally the guy, Andre 2000, his show. Yeah, who would have thought? This episode's the whole Christmas isn't about getting, it's about giving, not receiving type shit. So after all these nonsense with Lil D trying to get on the nice list, it doesn't go well because he almost kills Santa and Andre 3000. But he ends up helping them and saving them, and that's what gets him on the nice list, and he gets what he wants in the end. So like, you didn't really learn shit. I guess it's still about getting. These Christmas specials are stupid. That's one. Let me rant real quick. These Christmas specials, the one thing that pisses me off is the whole. It's about the spirit of giving, not getting. But in the end, the character that's being selfish gets what they want. Make it make sense. But that's whatever. That's beside the point. Mrs. Claus in this episode was bad as fuck. That's another thing. Like, God, Santa must have been a milkman. But yeah, this special kind of sucked doo-doo water, balloon balls, kind of boring. Weird show. The animation was kind of creative, so I won't give it a D. I'll give it a C. Like, bottom of C. Ben 10 Reboot. God, I had to watch the Ben 10 Reboot. Basically, there's evil robots, and they feast off of negative Christmas energy. Why? And the town is super Christmassy, like generic Christmassy, like Christmas spirit, like Christmas is about giving and shit. So it doesn't really work, except for like Ben, who's like, you know, doing the Ben thing of, oh yes, Christmas is about giving, not giving. So they have that whole lesson where in the end they defeat the robots by beating them with positive Christmas cheer about, you know, the true meaning of Christmas bullshit. And then on Ben's side, he still gets what he wants. He learns nothing. Alright, this episode's a fucking fat F. Yeah, let's talk about the Powerpuff Girl Reboot. First Christmas, I have two. This one was not really even about Christmas much. They wanted to get a mug for the professor. So they get a mug for the professor that says, Best Dad. And while they're trying to get this mug, it gets destroyed because they have to follow the villains. And then Blossom doesn't believe in Santa. And then the end of the episode happens, and Santa replaces the mug. And yeah. D tier. Now we have the other Eddy Christmas special. This one's called Fa La 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 Ed. This one is kinda not as good as the other one. Basically, it's not even Christmas, it's July. But Ed thinks it's Christmas, so he tries to like celebrate it. There's like a few scam that goes wrong. Yeah, this episode's pretty bland. Not really much to say. Ed, Christmas, yeah. C tier. Now we got My Gym Partner is a Monkey Animus. This one isn't really... This one's weird. It was like a mini musical, I guess. It was strange, but anyway, there's a holiday called Animus, which is all about the instincts, and the kid doesn't have instincts because he is a human, so he feels like he doesn't belong there. He leaves school, he tries to go to human world, he doesn't belong there. He gets wisdom from an old guy that clears his sinuses and clears his mind, and he decides to go back to the animal place, and he gets his instincts. He's able to smell the really fucking smelly rock that they all peed on, and then he pees on the rock. Yeah, this episode, My Gym Partner with a Monkey as a whole is fucking weird, and this episode proves that point. It wasn't horrendous, but it wasn't Christmas. D tier, I guess. Hey, it's Kanishmas, another classic. This one is from one of my favorite shows of all time, Chowder. Chowder is a show that I would say ages like fine wine. It is what Gumball dreams to be. It has the same style of humor, but I think done a bit better. It breaks the fourth wall well. It has great character. Everything about this show is phenomenal. And if you haven't watched Chowder, go back and watch it. And I'm telling you, this show was ahead of its time. But this one follows Kanishmas. It's not Christmas, it's Kanishmas in that universe. And there's this weird creature guy that comes to people's houses and will leave you presents if it likes your gingerbread house. But sadly, Mungal isn't the best chef when it comes to making a gingerbread house, so he doesn't ever really get presents. But Chowder really wants something for the holidays, so Mung has to swallow his pride and go buy a gingerbread house from Endy. But on the other hand, Chowder doesn't really care about that. He wants Mung to not have to swallow his pride. He wants Mung to be happy about the holidays. He wants Mung to earn it. Chowder then recruits Gorgonzola and Panini to help him out on his master plan. His plan is to dress up like Kanish Kringle, the Santa of this universe. It basically get rid of the Endy Christmas house and showcase that they enjoy Mung's instead. But the real Kanish Kringle attacks and they have to battle him. They start boxing, they start brawling for this. And Mung ends up coming in and hearing all this nonsense, and Chowder reveals what he was doing. And they have a really sweet moment, honestly. And they realize, they come to terms that it's not really about the gifts on Kanish Kringle, it's about each other, you know? You know that cheesy Christmas shit. But Kanish Kringle, in the end, appreciates this joyness, gives Chowder what he wants, and everyone gets to be happy. Gorgonzola gets a nice little sweater, he cries, and Panini gets a kiss, and her head explodes. Overall, this episode is one of the best. It had a banger of a song, because Jesus, Gingerbread House goes insane. So as a whole, this episode is an easy S. Plain and simple. And now we have the Baboon Christmas. That sounds racist. Is that racist? No, we have the Baboon Christmas from the show about the baboon. I forgot the name of the show. I can't remember it. Squirrel and Baboon? Monkey and Squirrel? Anyway, IR's family, which is the baboon, visits and he has to go get a tree. During this, Squirrel takes in his family. Baboon gets jealous of Squirrel, destroys a lot of shit. Squirrel reunites Baboon and his family. Have a happy time. Happy ever after. Wholesome, bland. C. So this next one's Camp Lazlo's Camp Kringle. So basically what happens, they're on a road trip and they wind up popping their tire and they stumble upon Santa's workshop. At this workshop they meet Santa. Santa's very stressed out though because every single thing he just fucking made got destroyed by a meteorite for no bloody reason. And he wants to cancel Christmas unless he gets a holiday. So the kids decide to bring him to camp and see if he can enjoy it. See if that is the getaway he needs. It was not. He hated that place, which anyone would, until he discovered Tetherball. And after discovering Tetherball, he absolutely loved the place, to the point where he didn't even want to go back for Christmas. The kids try to get him to hate the place again, but it doesn't work out well, like at all. Until Santa, out of nowhere, randomly realizes, wait, I've been making toys for 1,000 years, I gotta get back. And he goes back to North Pole, they defeat the camp master who took control since he was gone, and Christmas happens, I guess. Fuck happened in this episode? C tier. Now we have The Lie from Gumball. This special isn't really about Christmas per se, but it has that Christmas vibe. The whole thing is narrated in the Christmas rhyme way. So we basically get Gumball, Darwin, and the entire town pretty much being depressed because of January. Because after holidays, you know, you get that post-holiday slump, and everybody has that. So Gumball decides to make up a holiday called Tag. He goes through with it, he starts convincing everybody in the town, and everybody starts to celebrate it. But for some reason, Miss Simeon is being the Scrooge, and she's trying to cancel the holiday. She's trying to prove that Gumball is lying. So throughout the episode, you got her basically trying to sneak in, take pictures, and stop all this, while everybody else is enjoying Tag. And in the end, she does expose it, but everyone kind of reveals, yeah, we knew this shit was bullshit, to be honest. We just kind of wanted the time away because, you know, the Christmas times are special, and when we're all stressed and depressed after, having some time off or time off to ourselves is really nice. So this episode was really simple. I like the message though, at least, because the message wasn't the classic, you know, Christmas spirit. It was more about, nigga, we get tired. So I'll have to give this a solid B. The Johnny Bravo Christmas special. This one's a classic, but personally did not tickle my fancy like it did back in the day. So basically Johnny forgets to mail out his mother's mail to Santa, so him and little Sally has to go to the North Pole to deliver them by hand. They meet a lot of fun characters on the way. Very funny, very fun. And they end up getting to the North Pole, and Santa reveals that he does have space for these presents. Last minute, he has space, and Johnny learns that his mom was just trying to get gifts for Johnny and be nice. So Johnny does the good thing. He's like, you know what? Don't give me anything. Give everything for Mama. And yeah, wholesome, I guess. But like in terms of entertainment, the comedy was there, but it was kind of hit or miss. I still give it a B though. Pretty solid. The Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends special. This one was called A Lost Clause. Basically, quick rundown. This is a classic, so you've probably seen it. If you haven't seen it, get a better childhood. But it virtually follows Mac and Blue experiencing Christmas for the first time at the Foster's home. And it is basically a full test on, is Santa real? They see the imaginary friends, they see all this other nonsense. They don't think Santa's real. Blue goes on and he's trying to just get more presents for Christmas because he doesn't think Santa's real. So the only way to get Christmas is through obviously his Foster's home. And on the other hand, Max is dealing with his dimming childhood of Santa being real. And at the end, it almost looks like it's not until it's revealed that, yeah, Santa is real, as he saved everybody's lives and fixed everything. And Blue got coal and Matt got underwear. This was a bad recap of the episode, but it's a very simple classic story. It's just Mac not believing, and you got Blue doing a parody of A Christmas Carol. Yeah, I guess. Pretty solid. B. Now we have another one of my favorite shows, Flapjack. We have Low Tides Day. This episode isn't one of the best Flapjack episodes, but that's just because Flapjack's highs are insane, and this one's more lacking. The episode follows Mr. Knuckles being afraid of Low Tides Day because when he was a kid, he didn't get anything in his boot, and if you don't get anything in your boot, you get thrown in a sack and you get sacked. This shit's crazy. Imagine if that's what happened. If you were naughty throughout the years, and you're a bad person, you just get a bunch of goons, like, dressed as mermaids, just throwing you in a sack. I'd lose my mind. But yeah, to avoid this, Chowder decides to help Knuckles basically become a good person, and see if that can help him get away with it and not get sacked this year. That doesn't go well because it's Knuckles. But Flapjack has another plan of just putting a present in his boot. But the gift falls out, so Knuckles is about to get sacked. But Flapjack has a plan. He tries to save him by jumping off the cliff, but he gets chased. But during this, Knuckles does a good deed for Bubby by putting water on her and basically showing that he's not selfish and he can be a good person at times. And this doesn't really do anything. He's still about to get sacked because that's like one task. But everybody in Stormalong just jumps these sackers. Sackers? That's slow. Anyway, they all jump the guys that sack people because there's a lot of bad people with Stormalone. And Poseidon changed the holiday to say basically it doesn't matter if you've been bad or good. You get gifts every year from a sack instead of putting people in sacks. Yeah, the episode did flip that on its side. I like that. That was funny. But as a whole, the episode was like, okay. See? Now we have Craig of the Creek. Honestly, bro, I need to watch Craig of the Creek. I haven't watched this show yet, but my god, the comedy in this one was hitting. It's not really a full-on Christmas episode, but basically Craig, his brother, and his sister, they get locked outside, and it goes on a whole mission of them trying to find the key to get back inside. And it's a lot of fun. I think the episode was super wholesome, super entertaining. I'd go watch this one if you just want to watch something wintry season. It's not, like I said, it's not really a Christmas special. So I can't rank it an A, even though I enjoyed it a lot more than these other episodes. So I give it a B because it wasn't really a Christmas episode. But as a whole, very solid. A bunch of key hijinks, solid comedy. Go next. Merry Christmas, Mordecai. This episode is Mordecai's worst outing ever. Holy shit. Oh, this episode is great, but so hard to watch. So virtually, at this point in time, Margaret is gone and Mordecai is dating CJ. But There's a Christmas party going on, getting thrown by the best girl ever, Eileen, and plot twist, Margaret showing up. Mordecai doesn't know how to act, and he is a nervous wreck, and he is looking terrible. He is struggling because he doesn't know what he's going to do when he sees her, and he's not really ready to see her again, because he's with CJ, but he still has feelings for Margaret deep down, and he doesn't know how to, deal with those feelings. So the whole episode is him trying to avoid Margaret until he gets to the party where he tries to avoid her, and shit gets even worse. He ends up fucking up a disco ball, and they have finally what they should have did, a conversation. And the conversation goes well. It seems that he really likes CJ, it seems like he's ready to move on, and it seems like she's ready to accept it. But he's an idiot, and he gets flashbacks and kisses her on the lips. CJ sees this, storms off. Mordecai's trying to call her, it doesn't work. He learns that Margaret is moving back. Drama! But yeah, this was like Mordecai being a fucking idiot for like 15 minutes of my goddamn life. So this episode doesn't really sit well in the Christmas thing, but in terms of the entirety of Writer Show, it's a phenomenal episode. So, B? Now we got Clarence, Merry Moochmas. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a Clarence fan, so this may be a bias, but this one wasn't even really about Christmas, to be honest. So, Clarence and that friend Belson, or enemy friend, they're weird. So, Belson has a cousin that comes, and his cousin's kind of a dick. So, the whole plot is just Clarence trying to get them to bond. They don't bond the entire episode. They nearly die. And then Clarence breaks a toy, and they bond over Clarence being a dumbass. And that's the episode. His mom's a sweetheart, though. That's the one thing I took away from the episode. Belson's kind of a dick, and his mom's like the sweetest sweetheart ever. And he's a spoiled brat, and he deserved to get comeuppance in the episode, but he didn't. So, D tier. So now we have the Ben 10 Christmas special, which I didn't even know existed, to be honest. They basically show up to a little Christmas village, and the Christmas village is cursed. So if you stay in the village, you turn to an elf, because this main elf guy is depressed, and he has a machine that basically keeps Christmas going. They kidnap Grandpa Max, thinking he's Santa, and basically force him to be Santa and motivate these elves. They have to destroy the machine. The machine basically is the one causing the curse. They end up destroying the machine, saving Christmas, and all of that, and also breaking the time-space continuum curse thing, and freeing everybody that's in there. It's very dark if you think about it, because they allude that this dude just kept kidnapping children and turning them into elves. Kind of insane, but we get a lot of solid Ben 10 classic comedy, nothing really special. I think the ending's pretty wholesome, but Ben, again, does the stupid thing in every fucking Christmas special, where they teach the villain that the spirit of Christmas isn't about gifts, it's about, being with your family and such. But, Ben still gets the gift he wants in the end, and he doesn't really change his motivation. He doesn't really care about the spirit of Christmas and only just cares about his gift. But, hey, teach these kids good morals. B? Operation Naughty. Ooh. This is the Kids Next Door special. This special is really, really fun. It basically starts off with a little reveal that, oh no, the kids next door, are they attacking Santa? But plot twist, it wasn't them. It was the delightful kids from down the street. But in this mishap, bootleg Marvel characters, fucking Wolverine, Storm, and Beast, and other nigga, they show up and they start boxing the kids next door and stealing their tree because they think the kids next door stole Santa's present, his sleigh, his reindeer. Number 3 then beats everybody's ass, then gets fucked up, but then it's revealed, oh yeah, it wasn't them. So they go to the North Pole to stop the delightful children from down the street. God, it's hard to say that shit. But when they get there, it seems that power is way too strong, and while trying to put them on the good list and everybody else on the naughty list, it doesn't go well and they nearly die. They get saved, but then number 3 gets in the machine, and she's fed up because she's sick of this bullshit of everyone getting gifts but her. She's the generous one, she's the nice one, and she's fed up. So they send in Wallaby number 4 to give her a gift. It works, she breaks out. Everybody's good. Nice list fix, naughty list fix, number 3's happy. It's a really fun episode, really funny episode. Classic Kids Next Door. Love the parodies, love the art, love everything. Great episode. Solid A tier. Now we got a We Bare Bears one, The Perfect Tree. The Perfect Tree is one of their 2 Christmas specials. This one was pretty simple. It's just that It's just Ice Bear and Chloe looking for the perfect tree. They go on a little mini adventure. There's some turkeys. It's honestly a really wholesome and quick episode. Nothing really crazy happened, and they end up getting the tree in the end. Solid episode. B. Now we have the Nutcracker from Courage. Not really Christmassy, but they go to a dump, and they're basically collecting stuff and just taking stuff because they live in the middle of nowhere. Where the fuck are they gonna go? Walmart? That's Amazon? I don't say they got Amazon Prime out there. But yeah, they go to a dump and just start getting stuff, but they get locked in because it turns night. So everybody gets shit by these rats. And Eustace and Muriel end up getting kidnapped. Courage saves them. He's dancing with Nutcracker. The Nutcracker was playing during the episode. The Nutcracker, the Christmas song. Yeah. It's just a Courage episode. It feels like every other Courage episode. Doesn't really have a Christmassy theme to it, personally. But it was a solid Courage episode, so I guess a B? I don't know. Now we have Super Black Friday from OKKO. I'm actually disappointed. I expected a better one from OKKO, because OKKO is a show that I think didn't get the time to cook that it deserved, but this might be why, because this Christmas special was about Black Friday instead, but it still followed the trope of like Christmas traditions. I like that part because the whole theme was that everybody has different traditions and celebrate stuff differently, so we should accept everybody. But the way they frame it's a little bit weird. It kind of looks like they're trying to praise capitalism, I guess. But it basically follows the store closing and they're trying to get home for the holidays. It doesn't go well because a bunch of people outside blocking everywhere. They meet a little Santa guy and they learn the true meaning of Super Black Friday and realize that, oh yeah, people celebrate stuff differently, we shouldn't judge, and they open the store back up. All that shit happens, ends a happy ever after, everybody gets their traditions, blah blah blah. Like I said, it could have been better. I don't like how they handled it with like, it's just weird doing it with Black Friday. Like, you can do a Black Friday episode, but don't try to Christmas spirit me into supporting Black Friday. That's just ass. But yeah, C tier. Disappointing, to be honest. Now in Steve Universe, the Jim's and a Baby. This isn't really a Christmas episode, but it's a good episode, so I don't know how to rank this. We basically get a flashback of Greg and the Jims, and they tell Steven about when he was a baby and how the Jims almost kidnapped and killed Steven. Hey, look, I know that sounds bad, but it was pretty interesting to the lore. Got a little bit of development for the characters, and I think it's kind of cute. Seeing Greg become a father and learn how to do it. So I think that's neat. But as a Christmas episode, it's not really a Christmas episode. So like, I can't really rank it as one. So I'm going to put it in C tier? Probably? I don't know, man. I'm just making up these rankings as I go. Whew. The Powerpuff Girls. This one is long as fuck. Holy shit. And honestly, I'm gonna be harsh. Even though I enjoyed this Christmas special, the chase scene was fucking... I'll get to that. So basically this episode starts off with Princess basically getting berated by Powerpuff Girls because they basically say the truth that she's spoiled, she's naughty, she's bad, and say Santa's not bringing her jack shit, and that's why she gets cold. Princess obviously doesn't like this. She rages at her driver too. That shit was hilarious. But she goes on and she sneaks into Santa's workshop. She changes her to nice and everybody else in the world to naughty. And it just, she starts bragging about it to the Powerpuff Girls. Like, hey, you guys suck. But then they realize that, she must have did something about it. So they're trying to go snitch on her to Santa. And then they just got a long-ass chase. This is what I'm talking about. The chase was long as fuck. The chase was long as hell. It was literally like 10 minutes of them fucking flying to the North Pole. But they fly to the North Pole, fighting and battling. Princess was kind of giving them the hands. But she had powers as well because that's what she wished for. But it just dragged the fuck on. When they get to the North Pole, she just goes in on Santa. She starts talking so much shit. It is hilarious. She starts like shitting on Santa, the Powerpuff Girls, every other person. She is real for that, but it doesn't work well. Princess basically shows her true colors, and Santa realizes, yeah, she's this bitch naughty, and he puts her on the permanent naughty list. Erases her fucking powers, and she dies. Honestly, listen, I know it sounds like I didn't like this episode. That chase scene was just fucking so long. But it was really fun, so I'll give it an A. I'm like that. Now we got the other Johnny Bravo episode, which is 'Twas the Night Before. It's just Johnny taking over Christmas and being Santa. B, I guess? Now we have the White Elephant. This is another regular show, Christmas special. This Christmas special is pretty funny. It's the more comedy one of the bunch. I know regular show, all of them have comedy, but this one was like the comedy centric. Basically for White Elephant, if you guys don't know what it is, everybody gets gifts and it goes like a draw order. You're able to steal shit, whatever. But during this, throughout all the years, Muscle Man has been quite a dick. He's been pranking them every year with the most horrible things, from like itchy sweaters, from like spoiled ranch dressing, fucking underwear hands. So the group decides to get punishment and revenge on Muscle Man by pranking him. Before the prank can go through though, they talk to the elephant guy who says, "That's not the spirits of White Elephant." They go back, and before they can stop Muscle Man, it's revealed that Muscle Man pranked them again this year. So they let it go and Muscle Man gets attacked. This clip was trending on Twitter for a little bit. You've probably seen it. You're probably thinking, what did that nigga do to make them that bad? He deserved it. B. Now we have a show I've never heard of in my entire life. I think it was called like Tiggy or Tig and so I don't know what's good my Tiggas, but nah, this show is very interesting. It wasn't a bad episode. I kind of like it. It reminds me of the vibes of like Flapjack, you know, with like the boss guy that's like kind of incompetent. You got the happy-go-lucky little sidekick. So basically, Tig and his boss hurt Santa, put him in the hospital, so they have to deliver all the presents for the year. They go around delivering these presents, not well. They end up burning a guy's house down, traumatizing children. Really funny, to be honest. Like I said, this show reminds me a lot about Flapjack's humor, so it might be a sleeper banger. I don't know, I might check it out. But yeah, they end up saving Christmas, teamworking it, hell yeah. But nothing really crazy happens. I would say that, like I said, the humor's great, but the story's pretty simple. So yeah, also this guy's mother kissed Santa. Crazy. B tier. And now we have the last one, the Adventure Time special. This episode literally changed the landslide of Adventure Time as a whole, so I'm going to give it the time it deserves. The episode has Finn and Jake discover some mysterious VHS tapes. They decide to watch it and they learn that it's Ice King's. So it looks like Ice King made a video diary. They spend time watching it and they try to find an evil secret in it, but it looks like they're just kind of curious. But during this, Ice King's trying to get in and he doesn't know they're watching his tapes, but he just wants to be along for the ride to watch the secret tapes. Throughout all this, we learn more and more about the Ice King. Kind of weird, kind of nonsensical. He's a freak. But the important part of the episode is near the end, because after all the hijinks of him trying to break in, him eventually breaking in, they learned that Ice King wasn't always like this. And we get the reveal that he was Simon, that the crown's making him insane. And this was such a drop on the fucking show. Like, showing Ice King, this weirdo creep, actually not being a weirdo creep was so big at the time. We get so much lore just stuffed in that tiny thing, like who made the crown? Where's the crown from? Is there a way to free Simon? And it's honestly so big of an episode. Like, this episode was a huge changing point for Adventure Time. But after they do all this and they show us this, they just decide to make this a yearly thing where they get together, eat hot cocoa, and they wear sweaters and they watch these VHSs. So that's their new Christmas. But as a whole, it was, like I said, this episode is iconic for how much it changed the Adventure Time landscape. It's kind of crazy how important this episode is for the lore. So just for that, I have to give it an S. And that's all the Christmas specials from Cartoon Network ranked. I technically didn't rank all of them because there's some that are like not produced by Cartoon Network, but I wanted to focus on ones that are produced by Cartoon Network, not like Teen Titans Go and like other shit. But as a whole, man, I miss these. I miss the yearly Christmas specials. I miss live TV. I miss it a lot. Like, it still exists, of course. You can still go to Cartoon Network. You can still go to Nickelodeon. You can still go to Disney Channel. You can still go to all these channels, but with the power of streaming and how popular it is and how it's the new way to consume media, there's not as many Christmas specials because normally they just drop episodes, all those seasons instantly. Boom. Get it. Because I guess at a place we just got, a lot more impatient. So dropping all these episodes at once is just how it goes. So a lot of shows and a lot of animation just don't get a chance to make a Christmas special. Or if they do, it doesn't drop around Christmas. Because you can watch a Christmas special outside of Christmas. Like, you can do that. But there's something about watching it during the winter time, during these holiday seasons, that just make them feel a lot differently. And I'm kind of worried that in the future, as streaming completely dominates live TV, will kids of the future, or even adults that enjoy these, have the same feeling? And that's kind of worrying. But hey, on a light note, this was a lot of fun. I got to go experience stuff that I experienced as a kid. I got to find some new cool shows, and as a whole, I got to enjoy something that I enjoy. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video as well. So if you did, make sure to like, subscribe, bell icon, do all that good shit. I hope you guys enjoy your holidays and spend time with your family, spend time with people around you. Even if you don't celebrate like a holiday, just tell people around you that you care, because you never know when you might lose them. Anyway, that's all for today, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next